is 20,000 XLM good enough for me? Now, even though I can't speak on anyone's behalf, and even though nothing I say is financial advice, I would say yes for me, because the way you take a look at it is that this doesn't seem bad considering if, let's say, XLM were to go to the price of $10 during this bull run, because of course at that point, 20,000 XLM would hypothetically be worth $200,000. Now, when I say that, some people out there, they may be thinking, okay, how is that even a lot? Take a look at the prices of homes as of right now. They're very expensive, and I'm totally aware that they are very expensive. But the way I view it is that, first of all, that's a pretty good down payment for me, I think, for a pretty decent home. Not to mention, I know some friends out there with less than $50,000 who traveled the world for years. Now, it's not like they're eating out at fancy restaurants every day or staying at five-star hotels. That's not the case, but they're still able to travel, of course, meet new people, gain new experiences. So the way to take a look at it is that sometimes people think that, oh, if it's not $1 million or something like that, it's not good enough. And now, of course, it really does depend in a case-by-case basis, but the way you take a look at it is that in the grand scheme of things, I don't view this as being that bad. And keep in mind, many people that I know out there, they're not just only holding XLM, right? Many of them out there are holding XLM as one of their components, or in some cases, one of their main pieces. It's not like it's the only thing they hold. And again, I can't speak on anyone's behalf, but a lot of people that I know, they're not just only holding this. So if, let's say, I have a pretty well-diversified portfolio, and then let's say I own 20,000 XLM somewhere in there. Now, of course, at that point, if that has the potential to hypothetically at least one XLM to go to the price of $10, and that holding, again, 20,000 XLM, maybe in theory becoming $200,000, it wouldn't seem so bad, especially, again, if it's just one of the main components, or should I say one of the components of my portfolio. And now the way to take a look at it is this. If, let's say, some people may be thinking, okay, $10, that's too much. Let's say $5. Now, even at that point, 20,000 XLM is $100,000. So again, any way you take a look at it, either $10, $5, it doesn't seem that bad. Even at $2.50, if you think about it, 50,000, that doesn't seem too crazy in my opinion, at least in terms of something that's too bad, at least personally for me. Now, let's say XLM were to not do good, which I don't think it will, but some people seem to think that, hey, when it comes to this bull run, it's over and all this type of stuff. But I think better days are ahead, and I think Stellar fundamentally is too amazing to do bad, especially once the market hypothetically picks up again, because the way to take a look at it is that naturally people do, in a lot of cases, love Ripple, aka XRP. And I think the sentiment when it comes to that as of right now is very great because of the alleged lawsuit with the SEC and Ripple, again, allegedly dropping. So people do like that, and I think it really gives a lot of confirmation and removes a lot of the FUD, a lot of the fear that a lot of people that I've seen have because of that for quite a while. So I think once the market really picks up again, that, of course, Ripple, aka XRP, I think could be such a massive narrative, even bigger than what we've seen historically speaking, at least the way I take a look at it. Now, naturally, what's going to benefit from that? I think something like XLM, because it's the solid number 2 player within this space. And of course, naturally, if something like XRP, the market leader, does pick up, I think it's only fair to assume that something like XLM does go along with the ride. It's like, for instance, if Bitcoin does do well, I'm going to assume that something like Ethereum does do well too. It's like, for instance, if Bitcoin were to go to the price of $200,000, would it make sense for Ethereum to randomly drop to $100 or something like that? No, it doesn't make sense. So the way you take a look at it is that if something like Bitcoin goes up, hypothetically, something like Ethereum will tag along. Much like in this case, if XRP goes up, I think something like XLM will tag along with the ride as well, at least in theory. Now, why would it not? Because if you take a look at Stellar, what I do love about it is the aspects of ISO 20022. That right there is currently being used by many financial institutions from all around the world for inter-organizational data exchange. Again, ISO 20022. So it's not something that is in a concept mode or experimental. It's up and running. And the fact that Stellar has the aspect of that, I do really love it. When I take a look at Stellar as a blockchain, it's absolutely wonderful because it's lightning fast. I think it's really well built and well equipped to handle, the payments market, the global trade and finance market. So I think it has all the boxes ticked. Now, some people may be thinking that, okay, when it comes to this bull run though, there's really no future because, again, they take a look at the market pullback. Even despite a little bit of a recovery that we're seeing as of right now, some people may be thinking, the future is not that good. Well, the way to take a look at it is this. When I see over 500 million crypto owners, which we currently do have as of right now, according to Crypto.com research, does that mean the bull run is going to be bad? Now, let's just put some perspective into this. To be a little bit more specific, there's actually over 600 million crypto owners. Now, with that many crypto owners, even though that's not even 10% of the world's population, we have to take into consideration how this is actually a lot greater than what we've seen historically speaking, especially compared to 2021, at least during the peak of that bull run, which at that time there was roughly around 300 million crypto owners, and yet the bull run that year was that amazing. Now, the same can't be said for XLM and XRP that year, of course. 2021, generally speaking, was a very good year for many altcoins, also Bitcoin. And again, that was with far less crypto owners. Now that we have way more crypto owners, practically double, not to mention the Ripple and SEC case allegedly dropping, hopefully forever, could you imagine what type of action we could hypothetically see this time around, especially for projects like XLM and also XRP, of course? I think it could be so special, and I don't want to miss out on that. That is why anytime an income I'm acquiring, I'm holding, I'm just waiting. That's it. When it comes to XLM, I could care less about what happens to my portfolio next Monday, next Tuesday. I don't care. What I care about is what could this hypothetically be during a peak of a bull run. What it does along the way, it's whatever to me. You know, the way I view it is that as long as it hypothetically goes to the price of $10, even at $5, really, it doesn't seem too bad. I don't care what it does along the way. It can go up, it can go down, it can go whichever direction. But what I'm caring about is the end goal. It's the end of the race, so to speak. That's what I care about. It's like running a marathon. Who cares if I'm 27th place when it's like at 5 miles, you know? What I care about is how do I finish at the 10th mile? Theoretically, I'd be happy to even just finish a marathon like that, but I'm just saying, if let's say I was like a competitor, then of course, it wouldn't really matter to me what place I was in like the 3rd or 4th or 5th mile. I care about the end of the race, much like in this case. So the way I view it is that when it comes to something like XLM, I'm just staying patient. That's it. It's just a waiting game because historically speaking, altcoins, they usually peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, again, this is based off history, usually as a worst case. There is no guarantees this time around, but I think if anything, it could truly indicate that, hey, maybe there's still a ways to go when it comes to this bull run. So that's why I'm staying patient. And again, when it comes to something like XLM going to the price of $10, it wouldn't seem too crazy, especially when I consider how, considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $310 billion, which is around a 43x from here. But it's not even that crazy. This market cap is still well over $200 billion less than Ethereum's all-time high market cap back in 2021. So this time around, with more crypto owners, with the FUD being gone when it comes to projects like XRP and XLM, and $10 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. Greatly appreciate it. It's only the captain. I'll catch you all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.